Adobe has just launched the latest feature in Adobe Lightroom called Assisted Culling. With this feature, you can easily select the right photos, saving you a bunch of time. How it works and what you can do with it, I'll demonstrate in this video. Okay, let's dive into it. First of all, you need to update Lightroom into the latest version, which is the version of October 2025. Once updated, you will see the Assisted Culling early access feature explained also by Adobe Lightroom. But of course, in this video, I will show you how it works. So it's a feature which is located in the library, which makes sense because it helps you making selections. And once you selected a folder, you will have on the right side the Assisted Culling function. It could be that it's hidden, so you need to open it, but here you have access to the features that help you make selection. So what can you choose of and how does it work? Well, first of all, you can make selection based on focus. Is a subject in focus or not? Or is the focus on the eyes, or are the eyes open? This is really handy when you have shoots like a wedding or another shoot with a lot of people. This will help you make and choose the right photos. But you can also reject photos. For instance, on misfires, photos that are failures or documents or the exposure isn't correct. So to be honest, this is the first function that I will select. I will select first of all the misfires. And once you select it, the photos will be analyzed by Adobe Lightroom, by AI, which is built into it, and they will get a green check mark when they're approved and a red one when they're not approved, so when it's a misfire. So Adobe says this is, for instance, a misfire. Well, why is it a misfire? Let's have a look at the photo. Well, yeah, like you can see, it's not really sharp, a lot of out of focus, so not a really good photo. And it also shows here on the right side why it's a misfire. For instance, blurry. Well, I do a lot of nature, so my tip would be to double check it and not completely blind trust the system, because when you have a lot of blurry in your image because you really want to pop out the bird, in my case, it could be that the software says it's not a correct photo, but in fact it is. So always be extra double checking your images. But anyhow, it really speeds up the process. So by now, only checking misfires, you can see that my selection from almost, almost 7,000 photos is put back with almost 10% rejects. So I can select here the images that I want to see. So now it's on all, showing rejects and selects. But if I just click on rejects, you can see the rejects and you can easily have a look at it. And if indeed a photo is a reject, you can just select a couple and press, in my case, the letter X, which means it will be a rejection and it will be out of the folder. But there's more, so let's dive into that. I will select all, showing all photos again, the selects and the rejects, and now I will select the subject focus. Subject focus will mean that the software will look at a photo and show if it's in focus or if it's out of focus. And this really helps selecting images. Now, it could be, especially in my field, where it's nature photography, that a photo is out of focus by the software, but in real life it's good. So you always need to double check that. But for instance, this photo, it says it's out of focus, but to be honest, I think it's pretty in focus. And this is where the slider comes into. So you can really select the amount of sharpness that a photo should have. So I've selected it a bit more softer, which means that this photo now is in focus. So this really helps you to tweak how many rejects will you have and how many photos will you have. And if I look now at the rejects, it's almost 1,500 rejects, which really helps me on selecting the right photos. So this feature really enables you to automate and speed up the process in selecting photos. It really helps me to save a lot of time, But there's another feature in Adobe Lightroom which really will help you, and that's the stacking function. So how that will work, I'll show right now. The auto stack functionality only works in folders, so that's good to know. So I'm here now in a smart library, because that's always what I use whenever I select photos, and I can't really select the auto stack function here. So first of all, I will go up and select a folder with photos. Well, as you can see, I've got a folder here from a trip that I had and a test that I had with Canon, and now I can select auto stack. Well, once I press that function, you can select how the software should stack your photos. For instance, on capture time, but the other option that you have is on visual similarities. Well, that's the one that I'm gonna choose because I want to have the most lookalike photos together. This will take a couple of minutes to process, depending on how much photos you have. So I've got over 1,000 photos here. Well, that probably will take a minute or two, so I'll get back to you when it's done. Okay, so the software is done now, and it stacked the photos, as you can see, stacked by visual similarity, and there is a slider which you can use. For instance, less similar and more similar. And if you slide it, the software will automatically just adjust the photos, which really helps you in selecting the stacks and making it more easy to process. So I'm gonna do it a bit less just to have a look what that will do. And once you click stack, you will see the photos that are stacked. And as you can see, the stack number will be shown on the top left of the photo. For instance, I've got 2 photos here, which are almost the same, and I've got 212 over here, which could be because I've made a lot of photos on this place, which really was a nice spot in Italy. So this really helps you on even processing your photos faster, especially once you make a combination with the subject focus or the misfires. This really will speed up your process on selecting images in Adobe Lightroom. Well, this was my video about auto culling and auto stacking in Adobe Lightroom. I hope you enjoyed it and that it will help you save a lot of time editing your photos. Did you like the video? Please give me a thumbs up. And do you want to stay informed on other videos that I make? Please hit that subscribe button. Thank you for looking and see you the next time.